got to the point where we've cleaned the board up, we've prepared everything, and we're at the stage now where we need to add filler in to basically all the defective foam that we've taken out. So there's lots of little areas that need to be filled up. What I have here is a product that's called glass microfiber balls. You get this pretty much from any fiberglass supplier. What it looks like is it's essentially a white powder like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that, you're going to mix it up with some ordinary resin until you get a nice consistency, and then you're pretty much going to drop that in the hole, let that dry up, and once you sort of got it where you need it to be, then we go over and start adding the fiber cloth. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we've pretty much mixed up a nice consistency, as you can see. And now what we're going to do is we're going to apply the filler which we've mixed up to the areas that we want to fill up. The applicator that I've chosen to use is an ice cream stick. So I'm going to go ahead, fill up all these holes. Once we've done that, we're going to let that dry out. And then obviously the next step is to go on to the glassing. Okay, so we've got to the point where filler is pretty much dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some fiberglass, I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to show you a very neat trick how to work with the fiberglass, which makes life a hell of a lot easier. There's two types of fiberglass. There's your standard strands of fiberglass, which you can pretty much buy in most hobby stores. I wouldn't recommend working with this. If you're doing any kind of larger repairs, what I recommend is that you use what is known as hex cloth. It's a lot easier to work with. It comes in 4 ounces and 6 ounces. We're going to cut them into strips that will match each of these areas. So we're basically at the point where we need to mix the resin and the catalyst and apply that to the hex cloth that we've laid down. And one of the tricks that I like to use when working with resin is that I get a syringe, and I use the syringe to lay out not only the quantities of resin that I work with, but also the resin onto the cloth. I just find it's a neater way to work with it. So basically I've got some resin, and now what we need to do is we need to add catalyst. Now the thing is with catalyst is it's a hardening agent. So the moment you start adding catalyst, you need to be prepared to start working with the resin relatively quickly. You will also notice that I have two kinds of applicators. I have an applicator which is basically a piece of plastic, and I have a wooden applicator, and those are the two applicators I'll be working with to apply the resin onto the cloth. So here we go. Once I start working with the applicator, I'll start laying the resin and the cloth pretty evenly. So we've applied the resin to the hex cloth, as you can see. Now the next step is to let it start drying out. As you can see, we haven't completely finished. There's basically a two-step process. We'll let the top dry, and then we'll go ahead and do the same underneath, tidy up all these sections over here. And then once that's done, the next step is basically to take it and to sand it down. But for now, I'm going to move the board into the sun, and then I should be able to turn the board around and start working on it. Okay, so here we have it. The board is now in its final stages, and pretty much what I've done at this point is I've laid down a sort of uneven paint technique just to cover up any blemishes in the board from the repair. I've also gone ahead and given it a layer of wax resin over all the repair jobs that I've done to give it a nice smooth finish. And basically what I'll be doing over the next sort of day or two is just taking some water paper and really finding out all the details. So there you have it. That's a quick and easy fix for you if you're looking to restore an old surfboard or do some major repairs. Hope you enjoyed these videos, and best of luck with your repairs.